Well, every week we see a suspicious line, at least one. Sometimes there's a couple. This week, without a doubt, the most suspicious line on the board, the Atlanta Falcons, the 11-1 Atlanta Falcons, tied with Houston for the best record in the NFL, going on the road to face the 3-9 Carolina Panthers, the same Panthers that just lost to the 1-10, or the previously 1-10 Kansas City Chiefs. And Atlanta is only a 3.5-point favorite in this game on BETDAQ, 47.5 the total. Now, 3.5 is same thing the line is all over Vegas, and not surprisingly, the Falcons have been the most popular public bet of the week out in Vegas over the last 48 hours. Now, I don't know about you, but if I were a Falcons fan or a Falcons bettor, that would not exactly be comforting for me. Still, I understand why. I mean, you look at this game, as we said, Atlanta's 11-1. They're 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 meetings against Carolina. The Panthers, 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 home games. They've got a lame duck head coach in Ron Rivera. I mean, 3-9, just lost to the Chiefs. What else can you say about this team? But when you look a little closer, and the Panthers might not be quite as bad as their record would indicate. I know that might be a tough sell, being they just lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. But listen, in Carolina's last 9 games, they only have 2 wins in those 9 games against Washington and Philadelphia. There's 7 losses. One of those losses was a blowout loss to the Denver Broncos. That's understandable. Denver's been blowing out a lot of people nowadays. The other 6 losses all have been by 6 points or fewer. So really, Carolina, they've been playing some teams tough here lately. They've improved on the defensive side of the ball this year, no question about it. They should have beaten the Falcons the first time these teams met this season a couple of months ago. Atlanta ended up winning that game 30-28. Carolina would have locked it up had Cam Newton not fumbled on a quarterback sneak when they were trying to ice the game. Even after that fumble, they punted and pinned Atlanta back deep in their own end, and Matt Ryan completed a miraculous long pass and double coverage. It was, if you remember that game at all, it was a ridiculous game, ridiculous ending. The Panthers completely blew it. So I guess there you go. There's your case for Carolina. Now, it might sound like I'm grasping for straws a little bit here, and maybe I am. But the fact of the matter is, when I see an 11-1 team, only a 3.5-point favorite over a 3-9 team, when I see the public jumping on that 11-1 team, I mean, hey, the odds makers weren't born yesterday. It makes me look at the other side and wonder why. What is it that people see in Carolina here that I'm missing? And I guess that's pretty much what it is. Carolina has been playing teams tough recently. They've lost a lot of games, but they've lost a lot of games close. These are division rivals. Even though Atlanta is 4-1 against the spread, as we said in the last 5 meetings between these two teams, Carolina played them tough early in the season. And Carolina, they might match up well with the Falcons. In the Falcons, the strength of this team, especially this year, in Dirk Cutter's first year as offensive coordinator, is passing the football. The Falcons have really turned into a pass-first team. And over the last couple of years, there's been balance on this offense. I mean, Michael Turner has gotten a lot of run in this offense, but they've gone away from that this year. They're only rushing for 90 yards per game, really relying on the arm of Matt Ryan, and that's worked out pretty well, obviously. They're 11-1, but the strength of the Carolina defense is in the secondary. They have one of the better secondaries in the NFL. They're not very good against the run, but I'm not sure if the Falcons are going to alter their game plan. I'm not sure they're going to go away from what's been working for them throughout this season. So I'm not sure Atlanta is going to try to attack Carolina where they're weakest. So from that perspective, maybe this is a good matchup for the Carolina Panthers. Atlanta does not have a dominant defense. They allow 352 yards per game. That's 18th in the NFL. Carolina's offense, though, has been very disappointing this year. This has really been the one part of the Panthers team that has been most disappointing. They're averaging fewer than 20 points per game right now. This was a top 10 offense last season, so really puzzling, the drop-off. Cam Newton has not played well this season. However, you know what? I have a funny feeling, and maybe I'm just talking myself into it. When I saw this line, like everybody else at first, it looked a little low to me. I expected Atlanta to be about a 6 or 6.5 point favorite here, even though it was on the road. But the more I look at Carolina, the more I think about this game, I think if Cam Newton can protect the ball, can limit his turnovers, which is always the big question mark with him, but if he can do that, I think Carolina has an excellent chance to stay close here, if not pull a stunning upset. I guess not that stunning since they're only 3.5 point underdogs, but I think in the minds of a lot of people, Carolina beating the Atlanta Falcons this week would be stunning, but I'm not sure. I don't. It's tough. It's tough to make a convincing argument, obviously, for a 3-9 team against an 11-1 team. I've done the best I can, but best I can tell you is I have a gut feeling that Carolina plus 3.5 might be the right play in this game.